Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Misscliks
Hi.
D&D Devotion. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. How are
Hey.
you?
I am doing pretty well. You guys might notice we are missing part of our cast today. That's because today we're doing a special episode and the others weren't allowed to attend. After last week's very romantic encounter on a hot air balloon, I figured we needed a little more time to get to know Kess and Ransom together. So we're going to be doing a Kess and Ransom duet. Which will include some adventures and some just getting to know their characters a little bit better. But before we hop into game, what's been up?
Uh, I'm still on a New Zealand sleep schedule.
You seem really awake.
I'm, for some reason, really awake, but I'm only on like 4 hours interrupted sleep today. It's been crazy. I kept waking up, but I feel rested for some reason. But yeah, I go to sleep at like 6 a.m. every day now. That's like a norm. I'm like, if I was I had the perfect schedule, normal schedule in New Zealand, and here I'm horrible. But other than that, I did a commission recently for War Dragons, so that was fun. We had a little contest. I did not win, but for next day, right after I flew back to work on the dragon really last minute, worked out fine. And other than that, just been playing games. Started Outlast 2 last night, so that's been interesting, that game.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have a link to do you have a picture of the commission that we can see?
Heart. I'm going to ask one of my mods, awesome mods in here, if he can pull it up for me.
Nice.
Because I can't remember what it is or what the link is. But yeah, there should be a link somewhere for it. If not, my Twitter has it somewhere on it.
Cool. What about you, Trump? How's the week been holding up?
It's been very studious. So I finally came up with my deck list for DreamHack Austin, which is happening this weekend. I'm a little bit out of breath because I just, not done yet, but just moved a bunch of stuff in preparation for a party tomorrow when all the people were coming in slightly earlier for DreamHack Austin. Since I live in the area, I've invited them over for Franklin's world-famous barbecue.
Ooh.
It's going to be delicious.
Wait, you're making the barbecue?
No, it's going to be from a world-renowned barbecue place known as Franklin's over here in Austin, Texas. Usually it has lines of about 2 hours to get, but we planned and pre-ordered about a month in advance. So,
wow, where's my invite?
sure, if I knew you were interested in coming down to Austin, I would have invited you.
That's okay. I'm not going to DreamHack, so no worries. Maybe next time.
Cool. So I don't know much about Hearthstone, but do you publish your deck list ahead of time, or do you keep that secret?
The format is going to be closed or secret deck lists until the top 16, and then it's revealed. I have mine revealed since I'm actively practicing them on stream.
Okay. Well then, let's figure out what happened last week in game, or last session in game. Some interesting things happened. What were they?
We got engaged.
Yes, you did.
Wait, does this work? This ring that I happen to have on my finger work? That everyone always assumes. Well, this one they don't because there's nothing to it. But people always assume that since I have a ring on here that I'm engaged. But we'll just, for this purpose, use it like it's an engagement ring.
Yes, you did get engaged. How?
How
did he propose? Oh my God! Did he get down on one knee?
He did get down on one knee.
What did he say?
Oh.
What did he say?
Yeah, how did he do it?
Well, why don't you explain, Trump?
Well, gee, as is usual for the two of us, we're staring at this lovely sunset, and I couldn't help but in the spur of the moment, drop to one knee and propose. We got the hot air balloon trip by winning a foreigners competition over in this land through a series of challenges. And we also learned that Anna is a master at charades.
Yeah, she's really good at charades. uncannily good at charades. All right. So there was the foreigners competition that the king was holding to see who was the best musical performer, and it required all these different non-musical skill, semi-music related mini games to be played. The party did exceedingly well, and it was a lot of fun. And then they got a hot air balloon ride, but Anna was in jail. Or, I'm sorry, not Anna. Kellen was in jail, so he couldn't go on it. And Olivia was sticking around with Kellen because got to stay by her boy while he's in jail. And then you guys had your hot air balloon ride and got engaged. And I think we're picking back up when you guys come back into town, only to find a letter waiting for you at the tavern that you guys are staying in. There's no there's no Kellen, there's no Olivia, there's no Guy, there's no Bash, there's no Cook. There's just a letter at the front desk. And the letter says, "Didn't know when you'd be back. We got an invitation to play a wedding back in Bridgelight. I think you'll be interested in whose wedding it is, but I'm not going to tell you until you meet us there. See you there soon, I hope." And that's where you guys can take it.
What? Should we go?
People know that a hot air balloon ride usually only takes an evening.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened. Where would they have been? This doesn't make sense why they wouldn't be back yet. Should we go to this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a few weeks away by boat, so I guess they just wanted to maybe give us some space. How thoughtful of them.
I know, it's very thoughtful, but I think they just wanted some alone time, too. Well, do you think we should wait around for them, or should we just go?
We should go. It's a few weeks trip over there, I believe.
Okay, well, we should make the preparations then.
Okay. You guys are in Sandashar. It's the biggest port town in Akuba, so it's not a problem to charter a boat, or more accurately, book passage on a boat, all the way back to Evermund, where you can then, hop on a boat, take a road to Bridgelight. You'll probably have to make a stop off at another town somewhere else, but that's not a real problem. We don't have to worry about the specifics of that journey. Is there anything you would like to do in Sandashar before you leave all the way back for Mistria?
I can't think of anything specific on my end. Ransom, is there any business you think you need to attend to before we leave?
Let's see. Look at Cass. No, I think I have everything I need.
Oh. Okay. You guys can book passage on a boat, and it will take you all the way to Keldaram, where you can take a boat to Evermund. So you guys set off. You hop on a boat later that day, or maybe even the next day, and make for the old world. Now, tell me, what is it that you guys want to... What is it that you guys do while on this boat? It's a long journey, right? It's many weeks on this boat. What do you guys fill the time with?
Are there any activities on the boat that we can do?
No, this is not like a cruise. This is like a cargo ship that you guys are taking a spot on. So you've got these really cramped quarters that you share with other people. There's not really much in the way of privacy. And then your time that you're not sleeping, you can walk around on the top deck, or you can hang around in some of the smaller rooms downstairs. But there's, a lot of the boat is off limits to you because it's crew space, and there's a bunch of rowers, and so the whole rowing deck is off limits, and then there's a cargo deck, and that's off limits, and it's fairly cramped, maybe even uncomfortable.
So all of the rooms are cramped, even when awake?
Definitely.
Oh, these are definitely cramped quarters, but I think we can make the most of it. Do you happen to have any cards? We can play card games.
Of course. I've got my Hearth Gnome deck. Do you have one?
I do have a Hearth Gnome deck, and I think I might beat you this time.
Well, as usual, I won't take it easy on you.
No, I don't want... you to take it easy on me. I know
Of
what I'm
course.
doing.
We'll probably spend a lot of evenings playing Harp Gnome, getting to know each other, and
Watching the
spend-
sunset.
yeah, I'll spend the days on the deck just kind of practicing my weapon.
Okay.
Same, some weapon practice and definitely maybe some magic practice as well.
Sure. So, many days into your journey, you're between Akuba and this northern island. I'm going to bring you there on the map right now. In this little channel right around here. When there is a strange ship that's kind of listing to one side. I guess that's the reason it's strange. Is there's a ship listing to one side, kind of bobbing out in the water. And rumor around your ship is that you guys are going to come up and dock next to them, or not dock, but pull up alongside of them and see what's wrong with this ship, because they're stuck. They're clearly not going anywhere. Their mast is intact, but their sails are in tatters. A lot of the sails are just missing outright, and what ones remain are all slashed up as if they've been in some sort of terrible storm. The ship is on its side, which means they've been taking on water at least a little bit. Maybe they were able to seal one of the rooms down there so that the ship won't flood, but now they're definitely stuck at a side. There could be survivors that need rescuing, or at the very best, there's no survivors and there's stuff on the boat for the owners of this ship to take. So your ship comes, we'll be coming alongside and investigating in a little bit. As this is going on, the captain of the ship is getting his boarding crew ready. It includes a couple of armed people, but not many. It looks like there's going to be 3 armed sailors and then just a bunch of strong rowers that are picking up belaying pins to use as improvised weapons if something goes wrong.
I kind of make the comment while they're getting ready. You're not going in armed? I kind of raise my eyebrows on the belaying pins.
I don't carry a lot of weapons. He looks you up and down. Didn't I see you with some armor when you first stepped on?
Yep. I'd be happy to help. These things, quite sometimes they're traps.
As will I. And I kind of handle my size a little bit.
I appreciate that. Do either of you know how to swim?
Nope.
You might want to keep your armor off then. Fall in the water and you'll sink like a rock.
Good advice.
Okay. The other ship is still maybe 15 or 20 minutes off. Is there anything that you'd like to do in preparation before pulling up alongside of it?
So, what's our cut in the case that we find some treasure here since we're helping and all?
Captain crosses his arms and gives you a good long look and goes, well, supposing it's an abandoned ship and it's all for salvage. You wouldn't be lifting a finger to help in that situation. So, if it's a salvage ship with ain't nothing but inanimate objects on board, then I don't think we need your help. However, if push comes to shove and it is a trap, as you and I both suspect, then even share for you, and for whatever boarding team we have, we send 10 people, the 2 of you each get a 12th. How's that sound?
Well, if there's a trap and we're doing the fighting, don't you think we should get a little bit more than just the average cut?
My boys will be doing the fighting too. Look at them. Look at those strong rowers out there. You see Hank? You see how big his muscles are? He could do some good damage with one of them belaying pins.
You know, this weapon that I have didn't come cheap. It's quite a bit more sturdy than your belaying pins, and I didn't spend years training for nothing. In the art of the... It's not a halberd. In the art of the glaive. So, you're going to have to pay me a bit of a premium. I think I could take the whole lot of these on. The whole lot of you. So, I think a 50-50 is fair. 50% for us, 50% for all of the rest of you.
Hmm. 50-50 is a little steep.
It's your funeral.
Yeah, I thought life was priceless.
Everyone's got their price.
My
Clearly
rate
you
will
do.
go up if you go on the boat, and then you'll need my help. In that case, I will save all of you, but then I'll be taking all of the treasure.
All right, what if we do 40-60 and you go first? If you're so confident you're going to be taking such a big cut, you should be stepping forward to do most of the work.
That's fine. That's 60 for us, right?
No. 60 for us. My
We're
ship,
going in
after all.
first. We're practically doing all the work at that point.
You might want to stick to 50-50.
Fine, 50-50. But you
Alright.
take the point. A lot of you.
That's
Fair enough.
fine.
All right. He goes and informs the rest of his boarding crew what the situation is. They seem fairly apathetic, and you start to get the impression that they weren't going to be getting a cut of it anyway. So the other ship is approaching, or I guess more accurately, you're approaching the other ship, and it's just kind of sitting there, listing to one side.
My view, that looks extremely dangerous.
Some of the other sailors are getting a little nervous. One of them comes over to the two of you and says, "So, what do you think it is?"
Well, if I was a sailing man and I wanted to ambush a boat, I would make it look like my ship had sunk or was in trouble and was kind of abandoned. The moment people boarded my ship, I'd lay an ambush for them. So that's exactly what I think it is.
He nods along with you. It's, but we're all feeling too. There's something not right about that. I mean, if it was knocked in a storm, wouldn't the hull be more badly damaged? Why would it just be floating there like that? It's too perfect to target.
Well, you got a good head on your shoulders then. That's the right way to think about it.
Do you know who it might be? I'm new to this gig. I don't rightly know much in the way about. Would this be a pirate ship?
Yeah, might be, but relax. I'll be taking point, so you'll all be safe.
I walk over to Ransom and I kind of like whisper to him, like, if we're taking point and there's nothing there, which I'm sure there's something there, but if there's nothing, they're really not going to pay us anything. Don't you think we should negotiate that we get something regardless?
I whisper back, that's the point of taking point. Sometimes they don't get to see what's down there.
Ah, good thinking.
You guys pull up alongside the ship. The rowers start rowing backwards a little bit to slow you guys down. Ropes are tossed over with hooks on the end to try and grab their rail and drag your ship towards theirs, and a couple of gangplanks are thrown down, leaving the way for you guys to cross over.
Great. Well, before we cross over, I look carefully at that ship from our ship.
It is much smaller than yours, maybe about half the length. I think you guys are on like a 200-foot ship, and this one is maybe like 100 feet in change. It's about as wide, same, and looks to be double-decked, or 3 decks, you know, the top deck and then 2 underdecks. Whereas yours maybe has 4, so you're quite a bit higher out of the water as well. Also looking at it, you can see that the sails and the rigging are furled up. It's not that they're all missing, it's that they are... Most of them have been rolled up, and then a few have been let loose with slashes in them. A little suspicious.
Well, I'll just kind of cry out from our ship then. Hey, anybody down there? Do you guys need some help?
Just the sound of the waves sloshing against the side of your boat.
Does it look like, can we see the entire top side of the boat from here?
Mm-hmm. Yep. There looks like there's actually been... Well, hold on. Give me a perception check, both of you.
Okay.
Not quite.
Nice.
There we go. So, Ransom, the top of the ship looks fairly regular to you. But, Kess, you're looking across it, and you're seeing some stains on the deck. Clear, it looks like blood stains on the deck. Fairly old ones.
Old. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like, once upon a time blood was shed here, and it never properly got cleaned out of the wood.
There's old blood stains on the top that I noticed, but they don't look fresh at all. So it's been quite some time. I don't know if that means that it's been empty for some time, or they just don't care that there's blood all over the ship.
I take a look at it now that it's pointed out. Does it seem like, do I need to go closer to see, or can I tell vaguely if it's a month old or a year old or 100 years old?
I don't know if you can make that sort of judgment. It depends on the size of the blood and how long it was left to sit before it did get washed away. Too many variables in there. You need to be a blood spatter analyst to properly get that information.
Alright, well, I kind of talk back to the crew. Like I suspected, there's blood on that ship, and there will probably be some bloodshed, so keep an eye out. And then I start crossing the plank.
Okay. You cross over to the other deck, and the the sailors with cutlasses and belaying pins begin to follow after you. You make it to the other side. The deck is at a bit of an angle, or the ship is at a bit of an angle, making it awkward to walk around. But you're in no danger of slipping unless you have to run from one place to another. So you can pick your way carefully across the top deck, which looks clear now that you're on it. And then there's just, the stairway leading down to the hold, and then there's like the aft cabin, which is this like structure on the top of the deck that typically has some sort of quarters, usually the captain's quarters or the captain's main staging areas on the that back room on the deck.
Okay, so the topmost would be the aft cabin, right?
Yes.
All right, well, I'll walk to the aft cabin. I'll instruct the crew member, keep an eye on those stairs. Yell if anything comes up. And then I'm going to have a glaive and I'll just have my glaive pointing there. Cass, my dear, could you open this door?
Of course. And while holding one side in my hand, I grab one of the doors and open.
Okay. The door swings open with a bit of a creak, and you can see inside. The back of the ship has a whole bunch of windows on it, paned with glass, letting in a lot of the light to illuminate the room in here. It looks fairly nice, kind of richly decorated, actually. There's a nice like velvet seat with red cushions on it, a gorgeous desk that must be worth a small fortune in and of itself, with like mother of pearl inlaid around the outside and richly hand carved redwood. But from your angle looking down through this doorway, you can't see much of the room other than this desk and the windows behind it.
This is a total trap. There's no way this room would be so nice with nobody on this ship right now.
That's right. So what's blocking our view? The desk?
No, just like the doorway. You've got like a door, and then there's a bit of a hallway because there's a stairway sunk into either side of the aft cabin. So there's kind of like a hallway before it opens up into a room.
Okay, well, I kind of point my glaive forward as I walk through it, and then, as I turn the corner, my glaive is pointing that way.
Yeah, I'm following closely behind.
Yeah, 'cause there's like a staircase. This is a terrible rendition to scale, but there's like staircases on either side, and then the hallway that goes in between. Okay, so you enter the cabin area. You step on in, and sure enough, in the back left corner, or I guess the front left corner, there is a nice bed, silk sheets, beautiful trappings. Rich colors. It's all very well and good, and there is a person laying in the bed, semi-peacefully, I guess. It looks like he's sleeping.
What's the
just kinda
person look like?
It is a middle-aged woman. She's got some scarring on her face. One of her arms is flopped out to the side, like you do when you're sleeping. And you've got some scarring on her hands around there and forearm. Looks like she's been in a lot of fights in her time. These are definitely blade marks.
So in this room, there's also 2 stairways going down. Is that
No,
right?
these those stairways are on the deck leading up to the forecastle. So I'm doing a terrible job of describing this. Let me. All right, so
I whisper to Ransom, should we pick her or should we tie her up? I mean, if she's been defending this ship by herself, she might be very vicious.
So
I kind of nod back. I'm just gonna point my glaive at her. Don't move!
she continues to not move. So very roughly, this is the shape of the ship. If you're just looking at it from the top down, so you've got these staircases that lead up to the top area where you've got the steering wheel and everything, and then in between is the doorway that leads into the cabin. The stairway takes up a bit of the side room, but I can't draw well or to scale.
Okay, and how do you go down in the ship?
There is another staircase kind of back over here somewhere that goes down.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, from that direction.
Cass, could you remove those covers real fast and then back up? I don't want her to, surprise you.
Okay. I walk over just really carefully and I rip them off and then bounce back first.
All right. As you pull the covers, the person in the bed kind of rolls with them over towards you, rolling all the way onto her belly. One of her arms flopping down to brush the ground, but she doesn't seem to regain consciousness. You do see her chest moving slightly. She is alive. She is breathing, at least.
Is there any blood, any wounds on her currently, or no?
Nope.
What is she wearing?
She's wearing her pajamas.
Is she drunk? That doesn't make sense. She's breathing, but she hasn't moved yet. I go up and kind of poke her. I shake her foot.
It wiggles a little bit. You notice that she's got a very calloused bottom of her foot.
I set it down. She doesn't stir, nothing.
Mm-mm.
Well, I go up to her. I just go up to her where she's sleeping, and I just kind of shake her a little bit.
She stays. You give her a nice firm shake, and she doesn't respond.
I look. Is there anything unusual about the room? Was there any drink that she had next to her? Is there any kind of maybe potion she took that put her to sleep?
There is a spilled tankard on the ground. Or maybe it was empty and then it fell over and it's since dried, but there is a tankard that you would normally have some sort of drink in on the ground next to her. The ship's at a bit of an angle, so maybe it fell off. Maybe she just leaves it on the ground.
I pick it up. Is there anything different about this?
No, it's nice. It's made out of horn with, smaller, with a handle made out of metal that's been, bolted to the horn itself.
So I set that down on any kind of table next to her. Mm-hmm. And then, is there anything else we'd notice about her? Is she, a dummy?
At this point, I'm looking around the room for any valuables, too.
Okay.
I wonder if she's fake. This doesn't make any sense. She must be the trap.
Oh, she looks real to me.
But an unarmed woman who doesn't wake up What would you think? You would immediately go and search the ship and take things. So this must be the trap. There must be something else. I would proceed with caution.
Rightio.
All right. As I said before, the woman is middle-aged. She's wearing her pajamas, which are of surprisingly nice quality. She must be a noble, or she must be a very wealthy merchant, or maybe just a bloodthirsty pirate who has stolen these things from such a person. Her hair is short and has signs of being kept back behind her head. Often, it's got that like ring of being pulled back all the time. In her bed, as you're giving it a good look over, you find a nice dagger. It's got a silver blade with a steel handle and a small collection of gems in the pommel. It's probably worth a small sum of money.
Oh, was that next to her or in
Yeah,
the
it was
room?
in the bed, like underneath the pillow, halfway.
I take that out.
Okay. Put silver gem inlaid dagger on your character sheet so we know what
I
this
take
is.
it the rest of the crew is outside.
Yeah,
Not
a few of them
too-
have poked their heads in and are watching you guys do your thing, but they're giving you plenty of space. You got this big glaive that you need a lot of room to use, and
Yeah.
no one wants to get in the way of that.
I'll
Give me
generally keep the glaive pointed at the woman
Mhm.
and strategically block the front of the entrance.
Yeah.
Yes, make sure that there's nothing else strange in this room.
So you start taking a look over the ship. Give me an intelligence check there, Ransom. As you're not the ship, the room.
All right. Oh boy. It's time for Intelligence Fighter to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Oh, good thing it's 17. Something, as you're looking through this cabin, something strikes you as odd. There is no cargo manifest on the ship. Normally that's something that you would have in the captain's quarters because it's super important to keep track of what you have and don't have, but there is no manifest. There's no sign of inventory. There's no sign of any official documentation regarding repairs, regarding ownership, regarding anything like that. All the typical paperwork that would come with a traveling ship is missing. You do find, as you're searching the area, a bag of 100 gold, and then a small bag that has a few gems in it. Small gems, probably not worth that much each, but a nice little tidy bag of them.
Okay. I kind of nod at, Cass since I'm the one that's kind of holding the halberd and blocking the room. Hopefully she knows what that means.
I go ahead and grab it and pocket it.
Okay.
All right. I shout back. Seems like nothing in here other than this woman. Keep an eye on her, would you? I kind of move past the entrance to allow the other crew members access.
Okay. They come in here and start poking around. They come across other various things that could be construed as wealth, but they hesitate on taking it considering there are people aboard this ship. One of the sailors, the early or younger one who recently signed on that talked to you before you left your other ship, comes over to Kess and says, "What? Should we take her? Is she sick? She doesn't have a disease, does she?"
I don't know, but she has pretty heavy scarring, so I would be careful because if she does wake up and is being handled by you, there's a good chance she might attack you.
But I'm sure a strong young man like you could take on this woman. I kind of
Exactly.
praise the two of them, and would I be correct in assessing that the man would win in a fisticuff?
He looks stronger than she does, definitely. Yeah. She's got a fairly, I wouldn't call it slender build, but I would say she's got like a small frame with an athletic build on top of it, while this guy has a medium-large frame with a like rower's build. It's not athletic, it's more of like a bodybuilder's build. He's big bulging muscles from using them all the time. So he's clearly the stronger of the two. He's probably got like 15 strength, she's probably got like 12 strength.
Well, keep an eye on her, and if she attacks you, then yell and I'll come running, okay?
He gives a nod, and they make way for you guys to lead the way downstairs.
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay. You head down, and the staircase leads directly into the cargo hold, in which you find there's a couple of stalls that you would have for like horses, but they look like they're improvised. They look like they've just been, quickly thrown together. There's a carriage in the middle as well, a nice fancy carriage. And then there's a set of doors that lead to what would probably be like crew's quarter, storage for supplies, the kitchen, and that sort of stuff. But those doors are all closed.
Okay. Is there a way to go further down that's obvious, or would that be behind a door?
There is another staircase that goes down to the very bottom level.
All right. Is there anything obviously valuable in this room without opening any doors?
Yeah, let's take a look. Can I get perception checks from both of you as you search the room? Ooh.
So, as usual, I'm standing at the doorway and not doing much searching.
Right.
I'm looking.
All right, Kess, even with an 18, which is a terrible, terrible roll. Not as bad as Trump's 14, but you start walking around and you notice these stalls have a pair of horses in them, but both of the horses are dead. Not just like unconscious on the ground, but straight up dead.
Like, what do you mean straight up dead? Like
Bloody
dead?
No, just like
Or-
dead. You can smell them as you get close.
Oh. Oh. Ransom, this is something disgusting.
Oh, these poor horses.
Oh. Does it look like they just died of old age or malnutrition? Like, are they skinny?
They're not super skinny. It'd be weird if they both died of old age while on this ship.
Yeah.
Give me an intelligence check there, Kess.
Okay.
You're close. Oh, yeah.
Woo-hoo! Yes.
There's no water trough anywhere near them. It's quite possible that these horses have died of dehydration, but that would take a little while. They would have had to have been like this for a long time. Well, maybe not a long, long time, but for a significant amount of time if they were to die of dehydration. There's nothing else around them that shows signs of violence. They're not bruised. They're not bloody. They're just...
There's no food either, though, for them.
There's no food either, no.
So how long would it take, would you say?
Well, usually a horse can go 3 to 4 days, and then they will die.
Okay, so not that long, just
Right.
a few days.
Right.
Okay.
Um,
And
You're
they
looking-
smell like they've been decomposing well, they're not decomposing yet, right?
No. They smell
just
like
dead.
they're dead, but they don't smell like they've been rotting for a long
So
time.
it's
So
been
they've
like a week and a half at most then.
probably not even. Probably just a few days.
Okay.
Or maybe even they died earlier today.
Total from them being
Oh.
dehydrated to dying.
Yeah,
and
maybe
being dead a few
maybe a
days.
week and change.
Okay.
Or maybe they actually just died earlier today. The smell's not that strong.
This makes no sense, but I wonder, well, that lady must be dying then upstairs because she didn't have any food or anything in her drink, and then the horses don't have any food or drink either. This is very odd.
Right, we'll have to make sure to force feed that woman when we're done. She was breathing though, so she should be fine.
Yeah, but she was in nice pajamas. Why would somebody keep her in such a nice area? Oh, I hope she's not like some sort of slave to some man around here. I don't think so, though. Well, actually, like I start pondering a million thoughts in my head.
Probably not, since no one's responded to our cries.
Well, of course
Awesome
they're not
stuff.
going to. There's a ton of us and probably one other. Who knows? They could have hijacked the ship and...
I kind of start being louder and directing my voice towards the stairs. Hey, no worries, we're not here to hurt you. We're here to rescue you.
I wonder. I mean, why would there be horses on here with no food or drink?
Seems like these previous owners were very bad with animals.
That
So-
depends.
I'm gonna invite one of the crew members in at this point. Hey, keep an eye on those stairs and holler if anything comes up at us. All right, we're gonna check out these rooms one by one.
And why don't we take our first break as you guys go to check out these rooms? It seems like an appropriate spot. And we'll see you guys on the other side of our break with a little bit more of Kess and Ransom on a double date, or on a single date. Bye.